how is everyone doing after those big emotional speeches?
The caterers, the wait staff, everyone put this together. So for those of you who we haven't met, who are we? We
are David's older and taller brothers. I'm Ben.
And I'm Joel, and I'm the tallest.
We're so glad to be here in this beautiful venue, getting ready to eat this delicious meal. I've been eating sourdough bread for 6 months straight.
Don't worry, we made sure the wait staff wiped down all the entrees with Clorox wipes.
This is like the best Zoom party ever. I'm sorry, we've written this speech 3 times now. This is clearly material from 2020.
Tiger King, house plants,
social distancing,
Trump underinvested. That one still works, actually.
Let's move on here. For those of you who don't know him, who is David? Growing up, he played the role of baby brother to a T.
He was the sweetest little kid, always cherub-cheeked, playing with Lego for hours on end, always singing some tune to himself wherever he went.
But he was also a huge weirdo.
He used to sit up in trees and hiss at us and our friends.
He licked our friends on the elementary school playground.
He and his friends made a series of home videos under the banner Boys Nipple Productions. They were pretty funny, actually.
He also went through what is famously known in our family as the dangerous fish phase.
He was an expert on the subject. The red lionfish, the great white shark, the moray eel. David knew everything there was to know about these aquatic killers. Or so our parents said.
That's true. Once on a family vacation to the Florida Keys, I stepped on something. It was sharp, it was in the ocean, but I didn't really think much about it until my leg fell asleep on the car ride back to our hotel. Then I recalled the stingray warnings that we saw earlier that day.
At which point our parents turned to 9-year-old David for medical advice. Saying, David, what are the symptoms of a stingray sting? Death.
At this point, I was frantically rushed across the Florida Keys to the emergency room, where the doctor declared me to be the healthiest person he had seen all day.
David was undoubtedly lucky to have such good role models as older brothers. And he took our lead. Just like me, he started playing ice hockey.
Which you got from me.
And just like me, he got into extreme sports, skateboarding and rollerblading.
Which again, you got from me.
And just like me, he decided to spend his summers at a camp in Wisconsin, spending weeks outside in the woods on it.
That one was all you guys. But everything he did with a certain fearlessness. Once on his rollerblades, or often, he would hurl himself into 15-foot half-pipes that were way too intimidating for us.
And despite perpetually being the smallest player on any hockey team he was on, he played as fiercely as anyone on the ice.
And he certainly wasn't going to be intimidating.
Not after a concussion.
Or a lacerated kidney.
Or another concussion. You know, maybe he should have been a little bit intimidated.
He wasn't. And that fearlessness has served him well.
After high school, instead of doing the safe thing and going straight to college, he decided to take a year off. He was always far, far better with money than both of us, and he'd saved up enough to take a months-long trip to Europe.
He worked as an au pair in Italy, and then he traveled the continent on his own dime. Before David went on that trip, he was planning on attending the University of St. Louis to study aviation and become a pilot. But I think it's safe to say, on that trip, you probably learned a lot. Got a lot wiser. Learned how to recognize true genius when you see it. Which is undoubtedly why he followed in my footsteps yet again and attended the University of Wisconsin. It seems to have been a good move for him because it's where he met Molly. When the rest of the Myerses met Molly, the two of them had come to Chicago to see a hockey game. One morning, she and David roused themselves after doing whatever the night before to meet me and my wife Nicole at a diner for breakfast. It was immediately clear to Nicole and I that Molly and David were right for each other. She was sharp. She had a glimmer in her eye, and she always had an opinion. And now Nicole has talked a lot about how important that is in their family, but let me tell you, it's very important if you've ever spent a meal with the Myers.
And ever since that first time meeting Molly, I always liked her. I knew she was intelligent, driven, easy to hang out with. A little bit feisty if you beat her at cards, but nothing I hold against her. But it really hit home to me that she and David had something special after they graduated college. That summer, before making their forays into the working world, the two of them took a road trip across the U.S. A camping road trip. Not just a camping road trip, but a 6-week camping road trip, covering thousands of miles of pavement in a small, compact vehicle, sleeping on the ground with very little company other than one another. For 6 weeks.
Now, you could really like someone, and maybe even think you've got a chance long term. But after 6 weeks in a small car, sleeping on the ground, with only one other person to talk to, well, that'll put a relationship to the test.
But sure enough, when they rolled through Chicago at the end of it, it looks to me like they liked each other even more than when they set out.
So, of course, when they finally got engaged, we were all ecstatic. Then came the emails.
Save the date.
Unsave the date.
Save the date.
Keep saving the date.
Unsave the date again.
Save 3 dates. The pandemic had a good way of messing up the best laid plans. And these were really good plans.
And well laid.
But after what's now been years of scheduling and rescheduling, it looks like they're finally married.
The two of you are truly a perfect match. Passionate, adventurous, eager to dismantle systems of oppression.
You are both amazing humans doing amazing work out in the world. We mean that. And everyone in this room knows it's true.
And we all know you're going to keep doing amazing things. You guys have an incredibly bright future. And the biggest sign of that is the connections you've built and maintained and strengthened with everyone around you.
We all see how much you care about your friends and your families, and now one big family. Looking around this room, there's not a single person here who's not overjoyed the two of you are together.
All saved 3 dates.
There is so much love here tonight. Chris, Connie, Aiden, Jim, Mom and Dad, Nicole, Miles, yes, I'm talking about you, Henry, every other person who made it out tonight. We all couldn't be happier to be here and be celebrating your life.
Honestly, the two of you are both inspirations. For the good you do in the world, for the love you give to one another, and for the love you share with everyone around you.
David, we're lucky to call you our brother.
And Molly, we're lucky to get to call you our sister. So, let's raise a glass.
And David and Molly.